I mean, I would have died like if I hadn't gotten help when I did, you know. In 2006, I was constantly in and out of hospital. I was overdosing on a regular basis. I think for me, I hit rock bottom when I was 15. For me, I think the problem for me was that I was so, you know, for whatever reason, I was really, by the time like I was really bad with the drugs, you know, and I personally don't think it was a moral issue or anything got to do with the way I was brought up. You know, it was just for me. I'd walk out my front door and there was people selling drugs. Like so, I was predisposed. You know, there was drugs widely available. I was on the verge of having both my arms amputated, because I'd been chronically using drugs. You know, completely against my own will for years, and I just couldn't access treatment. For me, like going to prison, to be honest, I actually felt like I was pushed into a terrifying situation by the state at that age. Like I don't think that should have happened to me, you know, when I was 15. And I was exposed to terrible things. I witnessed terrible things like in prison that I never should have seen. I was worse when I came out, and I knew more about crime, I knew more about drugs than what I did before I went in, you know, and it was just a vicious cycle then. I felt like I had to make a public appeal. You know, it was like a last-ditch attempt, you know, to try and get help. And in doing that, I didn't get into treatment any quicker, but I got a, you know, phenomenal response from the public. And I think so many people could relate to my story, you know. And it was, even back then, there was so much stigma attached to it. I mean, I think people are more talking about addiction now than back then. But that was just amazing, the support that I got from people. And it kind of became a platform then for me to use my own story, you know, to highlight the gaps in the services, you know. I would have died like if I hadn't gotten help when I did, you know. And even before that, there was so many situations that I ended up in that I honestly, I don't know how I'm still alive now, like, you know. But I was really blessed that I had my family who were really supportive. I do feel like I'm one of the last ones standing, like, you know. Honestly, there's not many people alive now who were in prison with me, especially the women, you know. Addiction is a real thing, you know, and you hear people talking about heroin in particular. It is a painkiller, and people are using drugs to cope, basically, you know. It definitely, you know, isn't a choice. I don't know one person that chose to become a drug addict, you know. So for me, it's real life, like, and I even after 10 years, I'm still recovering from everything that I went through.